Coming up on One Detroit, a Belle Isle monument honoring the legacy of Italian poet Dante Alighieri gets new life. Plus, we'll tell you what to expect at this year's Detroit Black Film Festival. Also ahead, we'll preview Michigan Tech Week in a Future of Work report. And we'll give you some ideas on how you can spend this last weekend in September. It's all coming up next on One Detroit.
From Delta Faucets to Behr Paint, Masco Corporation is proud to deliver products that enhance the way consumers all over the world experience and enjoy their living spaces. Masco, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
Support also provided by the Cynthia and Edsel Ford Fund for Journalism at Detroit PBS.
DTE Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit PBS. Among the state's largest foundations committed to Michigan-focused giving, we support organizations that are doing exceptional work in our state. Learn more at dtefoundation.com.
Nissan Foundation, and viewers like you.
Just ahead on One Detroit, the Detroit Black Film Festival teams up with the taste of Black spirits for cinema, culture, and cocktails. Plus, Michigan innovation takes front and center at Michigan Tech Week. And we'll have a list of autumn activities taking place this weekend and beyond in Metro Detroit. But first up, a nearly century-old monument honoring Italian poet Dante Alighieri is back on display on Belle Isle following a major restoration. The bust of the man known as the father of the Italian language was placed on Belle Isle in 1927. The restored monument was recently unveiled by the Consulate of Italy in Detroit and the Dante Alighieri Society of Michigan. One Detroit's Will Glover attended the ceremony and has this report on Alighieri's legacy and the monument's impact on the local Italian-American community.
On Detroit's Belle Isle, down Vista Drive near Shed 12, sits a bust of revered Italian poet Dante Alighieri. Erected in 1927, the near-century-old bust had endured the elements and was in need of restoration. The Dante Alighieri Society of Michigan, the Consulate of Italy in Detroit, and partners spearheaded the restoration of the Dante Alighieri bust on Belle Isle. We joined them for the unveiling.
Buongiorno. My name is Allegra Baistrocchi. I'm the Consul of Italy in Detroit. Dante Alighieri was the father of the Italian language. He's known as one of the most world-renowned poets of all times, and he's a very important figure for us.
This is president of the Dante Alighieri Society of Michigan, Leah Adelphi.
We organize Italian classes for children, for adults. We are an official certification center for the Italian language. We were founded in Michigan in 1924. Our first main society is in Rome, founded in 1889, and it was founded to promote the Italian language and culture all over the world, to support the Italian community when they start the immigration. And this is our goal and the mission till today.
Dozens of people attended the event to hear speeches from the mayor's office in DNR in addition to the consulate and Dante Society.
Today we were here to celebrate many things. Friendship, resilience, 100 years of Dante, Michigan here, and the restoration of this beautiful monument of Dante Alighieri. Language is one of the keys, the bridge to communicate with each other. For us, represent our culture, traditions, and our heritage. It is important to preserve this for future generations.
We have 2.5 million Americans of Italian descent in the 5 states that I'm in charge of which over 500,000 in Michigan alone. So there's an incredible Italian-American population. They're super proud of their heritage. We want to help them to celebrate it, and we want to give back with little things that can be reminders also for those that don't know about Italian culture, don't know about the heritage that is here, and because we love Detroit.
Considerate la vostra semenza, fatti non foste a viver come bruti, ma per seguir virtute e conoscenza. So consider your origins. You were not made to live as brutes, but to follow virtue and knowledge.
We are very proud for this restoration. Thank you very much for helping, and viva Dante!
The 5th annual Detroit Black Film Festival is taking place at various venues in the city now through Sunday, September 29th. The lineup includes 57 independent films from 13 countries and Africa. This year's festival is being held in conjunction with the Taste of Black Spirits National Conference. One Detroit contributor and American Black Journal host, Stephen Henderson, got details from the festival's co-directors, Marshalle and Lazar Favors.
Boss man.
So, what kind of night is it?
You got someone to pee?
But you said just the one, so...
Both know it's never just the one. I'm not ready for the night to end.
Even though we both know that shit.
Where next?
Tell us about this year's Detroit Black Film Festival.
Thanks so much for having us. We're super excited. Detroit Black Film Festival plus Taste of Black Spirits. It's a dual event, happens September 25th through the 29th. We have 4 screening locations. We are kicking it off with short films and feature films and documentaries, everything across the board. It's going to be a really, really great time.
Yeah. So the cocktail end of this is new, Lazar. Why do I suspect this was your idea?
Well, we've introduced the event in 2021 called Taste of Black Spirits. And we've been traveling, taking that event across the United States. And last year we decided to, why not blend both of our events together, right? Why not add the cocktail concierge to the cinema and culture? So we blended it last year and it worked to perfection. We were able to combine our audiences and give them both an experience that neither one had experienced or would not have experienced if it was not going on at the same time.
Yeah.
So it worked very well, and we decided to do it for now on, actually. So it'll be a part. Taste of Black Spirits and Detroit Black Film Festival will happen at the same time within each other from now on.
But let's go back to the beginning and talk about how much this festival has grown. It has become much more than it started out as. Isn't that right?
That's correct.
It's interesting because when we first started Detroit Black Film Festival, it started during the pandemic.
I remember that.
So absolutely. And so so our first year, it wasn't what we expected, but it actually turned out to be really great because we were able to gain an international audience from around the world because it was virtual. We had all of our films that were screening online, and the connection that we had doing the Zoom calls and being able to connect artists with the audience virtually worked out, really, really great. And then once we were back in full effect in person, it just made it that much more exciting because people got to be in the same place, in the same space as the filmmakers. People that had made connections during the pandemic were able to come to Detroit and meet each other personally and experience their films in person as well. So it's grown in a sense that our audience has grown, and even with the number of films, we have 57 films from around the world this year that we are featuring.
Yeah. Let's talk about the films and how you choose them. You usually have quite a bit from Detroit, and you are great at featuring Detroiters, but as you point out, the films come from all over the world as well. Let's walk through the process of how you figure out what's in the festival, and then tell us what we should be excited about this year.
Well, it comes from the diaspora. So we have films that come from all around the world, and the criteria, we start with the jury, and they have 10 different categories that they rate the films in. And some of them are really technical, like production quality, sound, all those things. But honestly, the biggest, I think, criteria is just overall entertainment quality entertainment. Do we think our audience are going to enjoy this particular film?
Mhm.
And so it narrows down to that. And we get hundreds of films. We deliberate, and then our final lineup is what people come out to experience. And we have several screening locations: the Michigan State University Detroit Center, the Marlene Bowl YMCA Theater that's downtown, and the Carr Center Performance Studio. As well. The Carr Center usually has the documentary films. We have a number of films that we're calling our racial and social justice series. So for those who like social impact films, we have that. At the YMCA, most of them are our feature films, and those are like kind of our urban films, our dramas, but we do have, some romantic comedy in there as well. And so there's something for just everyone to enjoy.
So Lazar, tell me about the spirits and what people will be able to experience with that part.
So this year, so last year we introduced Rod Isley, so he'll be back with us this year. We are also doing a grand tasting of Beyonce's Sir Davis whiskey. We're doing I want to say a private grand sampling in the Cage Jewels Lounge. So we created some lounges for brands and products to for folks to participate in the lounges, but also we have 3 days of education. So we bring in spirit buyers from Meyer. We bring in folks who have offered capital, distributors like MHW and so forth. And we also have Derek Whitehead, who is a financial guru who comes in and talks about how to structure your business, how to use your money wisely, which is very important for all of us, right? But it's going to be a great time. And then the sampling itself, you're able to sample over 150 African-American owned spirit brands, beer, wines, and beverages. When I say beverages, because we also have non-alcoholic items and beverages. And we also are presenting some of our Detroit products like Nikki's Ginger Tea, our guy Black Eden from out of Idlewild, and several other brands. So it's going to be a great time. It's going to be full of education, entertainment, and elevation is what I like to call it.
Yeah. So you've been doing this for 5 years. I wonder if y'all can reflect some on the effect that you feel like this festival is having on Detroiters, on film, on Black film, and the support for it. It seems like there's a lot of momentum that's just been built up while y'all have been doing this.
There's been a lot of momentum that is built up within the last 5 years, especially in the Detroit community. I know that our community, like the independent film community, like kind of knows this, but I don't know if the broader community knows how much content is really being made here. I could say that there's at least 3 to 4 feature film productions that are happening in Detroit, in the Metro Detroit area, on a consistent basis. And some of those films are in our festival as well. So this is a great time to see the films. Some of them are on streaming platforms already, but this is a time for you to connect directly with the producers, directors, the actors that are in these films. And the momentum is just going to increase and get even stronger, I think. And festivals like this gives artists a platform for the community to really experience what's happening in the Detroit independent film community and the independent community across the board.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lazar.
And I think it gives us a as filmmakers and as independent filmmakers who are working in the market, gives an opportunity to hear their voices, right? To tell these stories that we may not hear on a large or a huge festival or streaming channel. But we've seen some short films. I'm talking about some amazing short films since day one. Our very first year, I think we only had very, very few films, but 90% of those films. So the first year of Detroit Black Film Fest was difficult to choose because it was so many. It was so many great films that were that were submitted that we end up awarding probably 60% of the films that we chose because they were all great films. And the stories range from narratives to short documentaries to it was a film called about our hair, right? About the Black hair. It was a great film about that. So the things that we are able to folks were able to reach and the things we're able to achieve with what we do, because we're very intentional about what it is we do. We're very intentional about delivering the message in the power of our voices and the power of what we are able to do as Black people. Yeah. And I think this is one of those platforms that really gives us as Black people an opportunity to really raise awareness about our experiences.
And what's really great is that you are going to see some new faces, up and coming actors that you may not have known before. And you're also going to see some very seasoned actors and that have, household name recognition like Lynn Whitfield and Malik Yoba and Ajanou Ellis. And so it's going to be an array of what folks are going to experience.
Yeah.
And we definitely got our Detroit filmmakers in there, right? We definitely got those in there. Got some great films happening. And those films will play at the Marlene Bow Theater. Some great actors, some great films. And we've always supported our hometown filmmakers. Like we try to give them as much of a stage presence as possible because we have a lot of visitors and we want them to really shine. And that we kind of like set the presentation up for them to really shine.
Who are making a name in their own right. And people can find out more about the film festival at Film Freeway, Detroit Film Festival, Detroit Black Film Festival.
All right, thank you.
Let's turn now to a future work report on Michigan Tech Week, coming up October 1st through the 4th. The conference is presented by the Michigan Founders Fund and takes place at Michigan Central. The event is geared toward high-growth founders and entrepreneurs and will feature speakers, workshops, networking, and pitch competitions. One Detroit's Will Glover got an overview of the conference from Michigan Founders Fund Executive Director Rishi Moudgil.
You are with the Michigan Founders Fund. So before we dive into Michigan Tech Week, just give us a little background on what the Michigan Founders Fund is and what it is that you guys do.
Yeah, of course. So Michigan Founders Fund is the state leading network of high growth, scalable entrepreneurs from around Michigan. And really our goal is to, create a community and connect those that are scaling their businesses so that they can be a success. And we define success in terms of true growth of their company, but also that we're creating an inclusive ecosystem that folks of all demographics can participate. And we're unique in that we ask all the founders, the members of our organization, to give back. So each one of them commits 1% of their company to a nonprofit fund, a philanthropic fund that we then administer and give grants back to the community.
Michigan Tech Week, give us a little bit of background on what this event is, what the overall mission is.
Michigan Tech Week was just started a couple of years ago and really out of a collaboration from a number of founders, investors, and folks in the ecosystem that really thought, we need a better way to bring everyone together who is in this entrepreneurial and tech space. One way to think about the core conference here at Michigan Tech Week is, this is for scalable founders. Right? Those who are creating a business and that they want to have multiples, staff, revenue, impact. We also wanted to connect even some of the cities that are close by with each other who aren't always working together, who aren't always seeing each other. This is a chance to bring everyone together. So it really is a statewide event. And it's, the goal is to connect, inspire, educate, invest into the founders from around Michigan that are doing incredible things.
Can you give us just a little preview of what's going to be happening on each day?
So the first day, for example, we're kicking off on Tuesday, October 1st. In the morning, actually, we're having a Fueling Females Founders brunch. And this is incredible because, our female founders are both symbolically and otherwise, leading the way for us during the week. Panels, workshops, etc. We also are having the most, we call it competition capital. Pitch competitions are happening every day, Tuesday through Friday. So our founders will be pitching for dollars. The biggest prize will be given out on Thursday, over $120,000. We have a couple of our success stories, in Michigan. That's another big reason we're doing this. Sometimes we don't even know in our own backyard these extremely successful entrepreneurial stories. So we have a couple great keynotes and firesides with some of our local heroes that you should hear from. And then we'll have some tactical items, right? How do you create the best path you want to develop, a technical product? How do you hustle for cash if you can't get necessarily venture capital?
One of the cool things about this event going on is the fact that it's happening at Michigan Central. There's been tons of development, tons of new things happening in and around that area. So just talk a little bit about why it's important for an event like this to be happening at a place like that.
It's very symbolic of a lot of things that we're a part of in terms of the entrepreneurial community, but even just the state. And so for us, it's really important to be there at Michigan Central. They have a number of programs and activities happening there, both in the facility and with founders. So it's really one of the big hubs right now where people are going when they're asking that question, where can I find people like me that want to start a business, that want to grow a business? Where can I go to find others who can be co-founders or have technical skills that can help scale the type of work I'm doing? So it's a natural fit. We're inviting people really all over the country are coming, but certainly all over the state and making that a destination for Michigan Tech Week.
If someone wants to get in on the action, if they want to participate, how do they do that? Where do they go? So
if you want to be involved in our community, go to michigantechweek.com. You can sign up for the newsletter to get updates of what's going on, but of course you can get tickets. This is a ticketed event, so we do have a special through this week, which is the week before, if you want to get a bit of a discount. But we have 4 days of packed activities. We'd love to see you there. It's pretty exciting. We encourage you to just come down to the city either way, and certainly check out michigantechweek.com to learn more about the core event.
It's the first full weekend of autumn, and that means it's time for pumpkins, Oktoberfest activities, and much more fall fun. Here's One Detroit's Will Glover with today's One Detroit Weekend.
First up, head to the Yak Arena parking lot in downtown Wyandotte for the Fire and Flannel Festival happening through September 29th. The festival welcomes fall with axe throwing, chainsaw carving, dancing witches accompanied by a bar, live music, and more. Next, on September 27th and 28th, you can kick off fall with Pumpkin Patch Night at Tree Runner Adventure Park in West Bloomfield. Pumpkin Patch Night encourages you to take in beautifully lit trees, music, and the autumn spirit. You can also head over to the Drafting Table Brewing Company in Wixom for Oktoberfest. Enjoy German-style beers on tap, special draft releases, and the Long Dog Dash where you can sign up your Dachshund, Corgi, or Basset Hound to race. It's Friday the 27th from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. and Saturday the 28th from 1 p.m. to 11 p.m. In the mood for a laugh? Check out Silly Goose, a Planet Ant Farm team original one-act comedy that follows a goose that takes on a town's mayor to win over its citizens. Opening night for this grown-up fairy tale is September 27th. Design Core Detroit's 14th annual Month of Design is going on through September 30th at multiple locations throughout the city. This year's theme is Creative Currents, celebrating Detroit's design impact on the globe. Catch the closing celebration at Michigan Central on Saturday, September 28th. Take in a one-man show at Detroit's Fisher Theater starring Chaz Palminteri called A Bronx Tale. Watch the TV and film star take to the stage to bring 18 characters from his autobiographical play to life on September 28th at 8 p.m. On September 28th and 29th, for more fall fun, stop by the South Lyon Area Pumpkin Fest. This year's theme is Rock Around a Pumpkin and will feature a craft show, scarecrow contest, and parade. Finally, for a taste of history, experience a Detroit Central Market weekend at Greenfield Village in Dearborn on September 28th and 29th. The historic 1860 market structure has been fully reconstructed and will host local vendors, chef demonstrations, and other special programming.
That'll do it for this week's One Detroit. Thanks for watching. Head to the One Detroit website for all of the stories that we're working on. Follow us on social media and sign up for our weekly newsletter.
From Delta faucets to Behr paint, Masco Corporation is proud to deliver products that enhance the way consumers all over the world experience and enjoy their living spaces. Masco, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
Support also provided by the Cynthia and Edsel Ford Fund for Journalism at Detroit PBS.
DTE Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit PBS. Among the state's largest foundations committed to Michigan-focused giving, we support organizations that are doing exceptional work in our state. Learn more at dtefoundation.com.
Nissan Foundation, and viewers like you.